Oh my God. Thanks. Could you sit, my darling? Thank you. Sit. Sit. Oh, Emma.
They're like slightly...
Oh, so much for drying them off. You see the state of me now.
I'm quite happy for you to have them, to be fair. I've...
Outtakes. Okay. Could you settle, Petal? Settle, Petal. Oh,
So,
I'm filthy now. Okay.
Yeah, so the questions are all sheepy related questions, really. Apart from Planet Emo. Planet Emo.
She's not an emo.
Emo. Planet Emo. Sorry, I apologise. Is there anything, I'm going to start from the bottom, is there anything that you have both found shocking or unexpected about farm life? And if so, what could be good or bad?
Well, shall I start that? Because you've been in farm life for a while.
I'm married into it, so
yeah.
It's a bit...
So, thankfully I've not seen the sheep go off, not our sheep to clarify, but I've not seen the commercial flock go off to slaughter or anything like that. That I would find hard. And again, the cows were taken off before I had to see the truck come for them. They were taken to a different field. So I've not had to face that, which I thought would, and I still think will be the hardest thing if I bonded with a creature and then it has to go off to slaughter. I think probably the most shocking thing was Maggie's leg. The injury, the emotional investment, the smell of rotting flesh. Yeah, everything about that was really the most traumatic part, I think, for me. Shocking part.
Yeah, for me, I think the whole thing's just been complete, because I married into it. I had no concept of what farming or agriculture was about, and so there's a lot of adjustment in terms of
you live with it as well, as in your husband is out doing it.
Yeah, so it's a really hard life. People don't really quite understand, I think, unless you're in it, like the pressures. You know, people look at you and think that you've got loads of money and actually you've not got a pot to pee in, because your assets rich,
isn't it?
Yeah, and money poor, so to speak. So that side of things has been quite hard, and having to do a lot of the parenting prior to Pip on my own was really hard. But I then really appreciated farm life with COVID, because no such thing as isolation really for us, because, well, other than actually communicating with other humans, I had all the space.
You still had the farm people, you still had farm hands on site, didn't you, that had to carry on, otherwise people don't get fed.
Well, they were classed as key workers, so yeah. And then we had the farmland and stuff, so I was truly blessed. I think that was I kind of needed that, I think, to kind of like get perspective. Like you, shocking elements for me are anything revolved around the animal side of things. Now here they do get looked after well, not, you know, in terms of the farm animals, they get looked after really well. So I already know I couldn't go to a slaughterhouse. When I see the men and the emotion that they carry when they are emotionally invested with, I mean, Sky used to call the lorry that used to come and pick the cows up, because they used to park outside our house when they were waiting to go to take them to market. And they kept asking obviously what they were. In the end, Robert said, "Oh, that's the McDonald's lorry." So for a long time, it was just McDonald's lorry.
McDonald's lorry.
But it was, you know, they've had to desensitise to certain things, which is evident with the way that they can be occasionally. But it's a coping strategy. Fly strike for me.
That was your most shocking.
I went vegetarian for a long time, and ever since then, I have been so funny with meat.
Dogs
having to scoop maggots out of huge craters off the back of oh yeah, it makes me feel funny just thinking about it. I think if you ever actually had to see that would do it, would it? Yeah, that was just
maggots was bad enough, and I didn't think maggots would bother me, because maggots don't bother me, but if I actually had to get my fingers in there and scoop maggots out,
it was the fact that it happened so quickly. It was the fact that in 1 minute the sheep seemed absolutely fine, and then literally it was nearly dead, and I couldn't work out why. I went over to it, and I clipped its coat because I couldn't quite see what was going on, and it had these holes,
like Swiss cheese
holes all the way along its back, and I squidged it because I couldn't work out what it was, and it literally was like lava coming out the top.
It's like those squeezy toys where you squeeze those things and they've got holes in the balls, and the gungy stuff squeezes out the holes.
And I knew that the only thing I could do was to empty all of the holes And I mean, I said that sheep was yellow for about a year after, because I doused it in iodine. And I mean, how that lived is beyond me, because it was shaking with shock, because I was having to literally, it was, so I get really, really funny now about me off the back of that. And yeah, Maggie was also hard, but I think I dealt with it slightly differently, but I think because of the fly.
Because you'd already dealt with that sort of,
yeah, it's the emotional investment.
Yes. Right, second question.
Sorry, yes.
No, that's right.
Got distracted by a dog kiss.
They're being very loving or annoying, I'm not sure which.
Although,
could you not lick your willy on camera, please?
Timmy likes me on his terms after yesterday's experience.
Did a runner, didn't you?
Took himself home.
He did. Emma took him and he wasn't having any of it, so he decided to go home by himself.
Yeah. So, Barbara Linan, I really apologise in advance if I get the names incorrect. I think you have some great ideas. Thank you very much. My question is, how do you see your sheepy business growing and developing over time?
What we would really like is for people to get on the bandwagon with us, the schools to get involved, the services out there to get involved, which is where, like your thing you were at yesterday, Autumn wants to be involved. Autumn, not right now, love.
Boring.
She wants to be part of this. I don't think I can have a sheep on my lap and 2 dogs for this interview. What was I saying?
What was that yesterday?
Yeah, the thing you were at yesterday is there's a lot of those things which are freebies, which are making a presence, which sometimes you just feel like, is this doing anything? But then you think, how many leaflets have I handed out? How many people have I spoken to? Wow. A bit more media presence, maybe. We've got a bit of a lull at the moment. That would be nice. A bit more media presence. And just, yeah, getting really out there, so that people will take us, run with us, and then we can be doing it every day and have some staff.
Yeah, I just want people to do what they say that they're going to do. I think that's the thing that I've learned, and I think we've both learned and have found the most frustrating, is that so many people tell us what they want us to hear, or they think that they want us to hear.
Well, see, I've got this person, don't they? Oh, I know someone, or I'll do this, or I'll give you money and sponsor you, or whatever, and then...
It's taken a long time to narrow down our people really within it, haven't we? And we've got like a core few that have been just fantastic. And I think for me, the turning point was very much coming back of summer and like I gave myself a bit of a reality check. And I think, we kind of got an action plan together, didn't we? I've got you onto the database, and I feel that things are now running, apart from the blips with the database last week.
Database broke.
I do feel that things are running a lot smoother.
Yeah.
And I just think the world is literally our oyster. I don't think I have any conception about really where exactly we're going to go. I'm quite open to most things really, as long as we can start supporting people, having some revenue funding in so we can pay staff, because that will then help our life. It'll be just life balance means
work balance.
Yeah, so I think that wasn't quite the other question. Where do you see it going, growing, developing?
So I think,
Yeah, we want to do a few corporate events, because wellbeing is a real thing, but that will also...
we've got a meeting about that next week.
Yeah, that will also help with the revenue funding, which then means that we can actually support people.
We've got a merchandise thing as well.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of things in the pipelines at the moment.
Our own range of... We're not going to say about it now because we don't really want to pitch our idea. But our own range of things to build and sell.
Yes, and I've got a big corporate sponsorship thing. I don't really know what's going to transpire, if anything is going to transpire. That's next week. So yeah, quite a big local chain. Well, what nationwide chain?
Nationwide retail chain.
Yeah, one of the ladies is coming out to find out a bit more about what we're about, because we just, we just need. Sounds so awful. I hate saying, but we just need money. Some big money behind us, just to kind of propel us, because we are very much in that chicken and egg. We're there. We've got the product. People want to engage, but we just, it's pain. We're in a horrible limbo, and
the phone is now ringing.
Yeah,
you know, which is.
And I hate answering the phone, so that's Pip's
She's
job.
given that to me. That's fine. I'm happy to do that.
I don't do.
Although I do need an iPhone charger.
Your iPad charger will charge your phone.
No, it will not. A completely different the phone is the old iPad charger, and my pad is my Samsung charger. I don't own an iCharger. Anyway, yeah, so the world is our oyster in a nutshell.
The thing is, I don't particularly like. I like dealing with people, but I don't like dealing with the business, like the organisational people type of thing. I have just got very little tolerance or patience to have those types of conversations. Sorry, it's one of those weeks this week. Isabel. Hi, Emma and Pippa. I wanted to ask what your favourite part of sheep therapy and what benefits do you see when people spend time with sheep?
The laughter is a big thing. You see a lot of laughter. Amazement that a sheep can be like a dog and not running away from you. That is the two biggest things I think that I see, and then everything else comes off of that. You know, people start talking, they start relaxing, the interactions with people and the animals.
For me, it's the non-verbal. When the non-verbal clients work with the animals, and it's how they express themselves physically within their facial expressions, and you see then the caregivers vibing off of the reactions. And I think for me, it's what's not said that carries the most weight. I mean, I think we get quite emotionally fatigued, don't we?
Often from the reaction of parents who nothing else has worked for, and then they come here and there's tears, or there's on the verge of tears, and you hear their stories come out about how they don't fit anywhere, or they haven't found anything where their child is engaged. And then, just to see that relief. Having been parents and being parents where we've been, so you're slowly being pushed into the corner by my dogs. Well, we've experienced it ourselves, haven't we? Where we don't fit, where school's not worked for our kids. You know, my kids went to school, but you get to that point where they stop being invited to birthday parties because they're significantly different by the age of 7. You know, all their peers have outgrown them. You know, people look at you funny in the shops when your child is whooping and spinning in the middle of Waitrose. You know, you're almost told to get out of the local soft play centre because one of the other kids that is in the play centre thinks it's hilarious to keep telling your kid to deflate the bouncy castle by turning it off at the mains, and your kid thinks that these people are friends.
Oh, that's like Harry as well, isn't it?
There's a billion stories from my boys' childhoods.
You had a thing with Harry there as well, didn't you?
Yeah, it's the usual. They're playing with me, they're my friends, and then actually they're not. What you see is a group of kids coming around the corner going, "Get him! Get him!" And then, you know, they just come up to you saying, "I'm playing chase with some kids, they're my friends." And you're like, those kids come around the corner, see you stood there, and then they go, and you go, "Yeah, you're not their friend at all, are you? You're..." Oh, and one of Brendan's was a kid at school telling him that they're going to give him a nickname, and his nickname is Spastic because he's elastic, and knowing exactly what they're doing, and telling him and his other neurodiverse friend that he needs to, they're going to play with them, but they're playing football and they need bodyguards to punch the younger kids to stop the younger kids ruining their game of football. And that there is vulnerable kids, desperate for a friend, being used. And that is what we see time and time again.
How I haven't been done for assault yet, to be perfectly honest, is just putting it out there. I've had many of a situation where I have been like,
get that kid away from me before I lose my rag.
Yeah.
My professional part of working with children is what has saved me on many an occasion.
I think for me it's the speechlessness sometimes. you know, when you
the kids run away before you actually act because you're so stunned.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, my prime example was my daughter on the bus the other day came back and she was absolutely distraught because one of the people that she was on the bus with, somebody that went to a main, because she's obviously in specialist, as you know, another child on the bus is adopted, and was upset on the bus. So I went and supported them. And the reason why they were upset is because somebody in mainstream school had turned around and told her to basically, her family don't love her anymore, which is why they got rid of her, and told her that she may as well just go and kill herself. Year 6. I mean, Sky said, genuinely could not believe what came out of that person's mouth. And I mean, I quite frankly, if I'd have witnessed that, I genuinely would have
lost the plot.
I would have lost the plot. And I mean, I can, when I get angry,
I'm really surprised Sky didn't. She dealt with it really well.
But she's in the right place for her, I think, because if she'd have been in mainstream, I mean, that would have gone badly. She Racist Rose was her nickname. Got the receiving end of Sky's wrath. Yeah. Because she's very principled and she's got a very high moral compass, and she won't tolerate things like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, kids will be kids, but when she always
fights for the underdog.
Yeah. She's gonna. Yeah.
So the long-winded answer that we've given to that question is
just seeing a change in people.
Yeah, just seeing the importance that we have, the space that we've provided, the support we've provided, and the difference we have made to individuals' lives, I guess, rounding it up, for those sorts of reasons.
Yes, absolutely. And then there was so Karen said, what challenges do you face with your business, and in what areas would you like your business to grow?
We've kind of already talked about growing. The challenges, we've kind of talked about money.
I hate to say it, that is, and the thing is, we're trying not to be so money focused, because ultimately we don't want that to override what we're trying to achieve. So it's a real balancing act.
But there's still overheads. I mean, we're not renting land. We're really lucky in that way that we've taken over stables.
Yeah.
But we still got vet bills, food bills, insurances. And
I think for me also that the bit I would personally like to grow is an area that I've always wanted to do, is to support those in recovery from addiction. And we haven't touched on that yet at all, because that's kind of part of the bigger picture. But for me, that is an area I'm desperate to kind of find ways of supporting. I don't quite know how, but it will happen. So I guess just watch this space, because when I'm determined about certain things, it will make it happen. So yes, and then sorry, keep forgetting that the questions are on my phone.
I'm just trying to look at the thing, and I think we've hit 17 minutes.
Oh, okay. There's one more.
20 minutes is my maximum usually for a video. So
Tiny Trekker Vlogs. I wanted to ask you, how did you both first meet, and how did the idea for the sheep happen? I think again we've kind of covered that really.
Well, we're passing in. Yeah, we have, haven't we? Passing in the village. Then Heather and I, my sister-in-law, between us looked after various.
Heather had Harry to start off with.
She did.
Harry was a character.
Then she went on maternity, didn't she?
Yes.
And then I had Harry.
And then I think Sky used to come to you in the holidays.
Sky came in the holidays, yeah. And I knew Sky from preschool, because I used to be called in to cover sick days and stuff at the preschool.
Oh, how did you club in the school? You used to do like the coffee morning thing down there.
I used to run a Friday after school coffee morning, and I also used to do.
It was one of the day.
Oh, so that would have been the Tuesday toddler group that I used to run in the school hall.
I used to come with Harry to that.
Yeah. Oh yes, because I do remember you coming.
So that's where it all started really. We've always got on. I mean, we've always.
And then you asked me to have Aussie.
I thank the Lord that I did. I had foresight because I knew how popular.
You said, by the way, I'm pregnant. You were out on a run. I remember we were down the road and you were like, I'm pregnant. I went, oh, congratulations. And you said, I'm looking for childcare when he's about 9 months old to a year.
I know. I was like, can I put him on the waiting list now? There was no way I was going to miss out, because I just know what my other two were like. I knew that I knew. And thank God, because of COVID, could you imagine what Ozzy would be like if he had no support through COVID?
Yeah, because actually he came to me literally just before that happened, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I was shut down for, was it 3 months? But I remember Rob saying, when I babysat once, that apart from you two, I was the only other person outside of you two that he had a bond with, because not even his grandparents could come and spend time with him. Because... You couldn't even hang out with your immediate family. They weren't even allowed to come to the house and spend time with them.
No, you used to like wave at each other across the field, so to speak, but you didn't, because they were all asthmatic and things like that, so we couldn't risk any cross contaminations because Rob was out working still. We just couldn't do it. So yeah, no.
I remember that was the thing that kind of struck me. That really hit me. Like, wow, not even his grandparents could have that bond. And then, I mean, I've always been very honoured by the bond that I have with other people's children and the trust that other people put in me, and I don't take that for granted at all, and never have. But when he said that, I thought, wow, that's quite a big responsibility. That apart from his parents,
kind of puts it all into kind of...
Yeah, it was perspective through COVID. I was like, and then I looked at the other kids and thought, yeah, you know, it's mum, dad at home. I'm probably the only other person they get to see regularly.
In terms of that parental role figure, yeah. And I mean, obviously it's great for them because they did manage to have the social time with other children. Because Ozzy wasn't an easy baby. I mean, I don't know what on earth would give you that idea. It's vile.
If anyone's been watching this channel for a long time, a lot of you might remember the screaming in the background.
Oh my god. Oh, he had colic. Oh, milk allergy. Oh, just like literally. If
there were times you had to come and get him, wasn't there? Because
he was the best contraception ever.
Good job you didn't have him first.
I would have not had any more children, I don't think. I mean, but he had milk allergies and loads of problems with his stomach, and yeah.
He was a screamer.
Still is.
and you know, and the relentlessness that he still has. If he got started, I remember getting to sometimes like 1:30 and saying to you, he's not going for sleep, the others need a nap. Are you in any position to come and get him? Because he's just broken. And I don't do that very often. I don't sing kids home very often, but I was
he
like,
came home quite regularly.
Yeah, I was like, there's got to be something wrong. He's got to be ill. There's like, I don't understand why because he was happy. It's not like he was happy to come in, wasn't it? It wasn't like a separation anxiety. It's just, he would just get into a scream frame of mind. And
but he's still like that now though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't happen as often. But
it's growing out of it.
Yeah, for you. But he's like, we've noticed he does this. So he's good at school. He's getting better with Pip. I then get literally the full wrath, and then Rob basically just bribes him out of it.
We all have our own ways of dealing with it.
Yeah, but I don't give in, but he also doesn't give in. So
I think it's like loggerheads with you two, isn't it? It's like you're both like, you're like, no, Ozzy, I am not. I've said no. No means no, and he's like, I'm going to scream until you say yes, and you're like, I'm not going to say yes.
But he just won't stop though, will he? Like with other people, he will stop, but he just will not give in.
I can usually find a way of saying, and I don't like doing it, but it's things like, I will say to him, if like it's getting late, it's sort of getting towards 6 o'clock and I'm doing a late stint, then I'll say, oh, do we need to get ready for bed now then? And he's like, no! And then I sort of say to him, well, you sound really tired.
Oh, I thought that though, he doesn't care.
Like,
he literally nothing unless, nothing.
There is no unless.
It's
Red
just,
mist descends, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I just literally completely ignore him now. It's the only way I can do it, 'cause the minute I engage. But
fuels it.
Yeah. It's just like, I could just, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had one straightforward child. That would have just, you know.
Look, I didn't, you're not allowed. I stopped, you see, after 2.
Okay, well, the big age gap shows how I clearly forgot how tricky they were, because I had then decided it would be a good idea to have another one.
I stopped. I was like, no, I can't do a third with these.
Oh, we weren't going to have another one after Harry. We weren't going to, and then Harry started school, and I got into that empty nest syndrome, as you do. Clearly didn't have enough going on in my life as it was, because I was just starting.
Emma always needs a project.
Yeah, but that is not firmly crossed, nothing. I need to see him for a start.
Farming life has helped you in that department.
Well, when there's a will, there's a way, but yeah, no.
Right.
What was the question? I can't even remember. How did we meet? Yeah.
So that's how we met. Oh, and how did the business come? Basically, we would,
just in the kitchen.
Yeah, Emma wanted to do something with walking, talking therapy or something similar with alpacas. Rob vetoed that. I'm sure you've all heard this story a billion times, but we'll say it anyway. And I was looking for something once the kids had gone back to school to secure my job. And I've always wanted to work with animals and kids, and I did the kids bit, and now I want to work with animals. So, and now we're kind of doing both.
Somehow.
Yeah.
It's actually, Pip was meant to make life having Pip was meant to make life easier.
Can I just say though, Emma doesn't like easy really. What happens is you make Emma's life a bit easier and then she fills that space with another project. So...
But I will say for the first time this week, because I've had my ADHD medications changed, I've literally... I tell you what it reminds me of? Burnout. Like, you know when I get my full-blown burnout?
But with less tears.
Yeah, because I'm not actually in burnout, but this is how I feel, because I've gone for a really high dose of one ADHD med, but we can't get that anymore. So I've now put on a new one, but you have to start on a real low dose. But they are different types of drugs, so you have to start at the bottom.
Work your way up.
And
you would have been comatose actually, I think, if you'd had the other medication fall back.
Yeah, it's the weirdest. Like I don't think you've ever had it so quiet in the house.
It's actually quite peaceful. In fact, we're not rubbing alongside each other, but like we're working alongside each other. And normally if I walk past Emma, she'll talk at me. You haven't, you've been in your own world, doing your own thing. And I kind of got on with my thing, and then we've come together. Yeah, because there was a couple of times you walked past me, you kind of look at me and smile, and you're just like, are you going to say something? She's not talking to me. This is the most... Normally if I go past her, something comes out of her mouth because her brain's been thinking. I've left her alone for too long and she's thinking, and then something comes out.
Yesterday was hard work. That was not my idea of a good time last night.
No.
I nominated Pip next time. Don't want to do that again.
Yeah, but you were not medicated. Well, you were. But... Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure we've hit well over 20 minutes now, so...
I'm going to go and buy stuff to make apple crumble.
Okay. Ooh.
I want the custard. It's the custard. That's the only reason why I'm going to take. Because they do the Madagascan.
Yeah, that is nice. And I'm going to take these cuddly boys home. I now really do smell like a sheep, and get on with some electronic stuff.
I'm going to come and join you and do that. I want to go and do that first. And I really should put the lid on my thing, but I don't know if I can be bothered.
You can. Should we say goodbye, because we're now thinking?
Yeah.
Talking.
Oh, it's half an hour.
Oh, we're so sorry, people. And I'm not editing this. You are getting it raw, as is. I'm so sorry.
Bye. Adios. Adios, amigo.